Hey, fatty, I'm back. We're going to talk about some weight loss. Okay, so the first question I have here is what do we got? What do we got? Is the sugar diet still a thing? Of course it is. Okay, sugar's sugar, right? Isn't there still sugar on the planet Earth? Doesn't sugar still like basically run life? Okay, it's just about the calories being low enough that you're losing weight. Sugar, okay, sugar, butter, potatoes, straight glucose, straight sugar, fruit, sugar. Is that protocol, especially if you're doing it on a meal a day? Does it have an advantage over anything with fat in it? Yeah. Calories are going to be easier to run lower. Boiled potatoes, wet fruit, high water content food on a meal a day. If you have, and you get rid of all your phobia of not having fat in the diet because your hormones, you fat pig, and not having protein in the diet because you're worried about muscle loss, you fat pig. You're going to be able to run the calories to the floor in a meal a day on a high water content diet that has zero fat, zero fat, and basically next to no protein other than what's in the plant foods. Okay, that's going to be the best way to cut weight. Do you have to go vegan forever? No. Okay, is everybody going to want to do it like that? No. But if you want to cut weight wicked quick, via the calories being minimized to the bottom end, it's going to be something that looks like that. It's going to be a plant-based, crazy low-fat, crazy low-protein diet with high water content foods. And then when you get lean, you can still yank the protein way down because you're going to have a bunch of loose skin that's going to get chewed up by a low-protein diet. Then when you get really lean, then you swing some protein back in. All right. TLM Nathan said, can I send donations to your PayPal still? Yes, you can. My PayPal email is pumpkincontrols@hotmail.com. Pumpkin, spelt like pumpkin. Controls. So like controls, control with the S. Don't miss the S. Because there's other scammers that are trying to get donations from people sending them to me that just cut the S off and people actually screw up and don't put the S in. Pumpkincontrols@hotmail.com. All right. Alec Jackson 746 asks, will Matt return? Okay, not in the near future. Okay. Okay, we're working. We have other things in the works here. Okay, Matt had to go back home. Okay, he's got a family member that's sick. We can leave it at that. Get your head back on track. Focus on your weight loss goals. Focus on your health. Jim V8 says, sugar diet worked. Of course it is still in Cole's arsenal. It's all a calorie game, man. Okay, it's all a calorie game. If you're not losing weight, you need to eat less calories. If you don't know your calorie count, don't eat foods you can't count. A meal a day is going to be basically a non-negotiable for fat people. If you're eating during the day, why are you eating during the day if you're a fat ass? Okay, why are you eating during the day if you're a fat ass? Okay, the food you eat is the fat you wear, fatty. Okay, the excessive amount of calories you eat is the fat you wear. Maker's Folly asks, Cole, do you still recommend creating a weight loss channel to document our weight loss on the snake diet? I was wondering if anyone would come by and support. Yeah, for sure. Start a channel. Start weight logging. The weight log. Okay, the weight log. Start logging the weight. Get on the scale, log the weight. Get a weight log going on your channel. Take a set of starting pictures. All right, let's see here. Mosh Bear Pig said, sugar diet has worked for me for well over a year now. Great work. Okay, but do you understand why it's working? It's creating an environment for you that is allowing you to yard the calories low enough to get a result you want. That's all it's doing. It's creating an environment that is working for you to yard the calories low enough to get a weight loss result. That's why it's working. And that's why there's people that could eat just what you think is complete trash and still lose weight. Okay? I've seen women that were following the guy that wrote the 5-Bite Diet book. They were literally eating 2 Snickers bars a day and felt great. And one thing I will say about that, there is some merit for sure to where people are always chasing volume. Sometimes high volume foods that are really, the calorie density is so low, it doesn't actually hit the spot. It's just too much volume, specifically salads and shit. Okay, your stomach's got stretch receptors, and you want to definitely reset those to a point. Potatoes work very well. Potatoes. Okay, boiled potatoes in general, because they're very satiating, even, and the volume isn't ridiculous, and they're very satiating because it's starch. You want to give your body still a calorie source, just a calorie source. It's not like straight salad. I could eat 2 kg of salad and have like this big stretched out gut, and then as soon as it starts digesting after a bit, it's like I'm just hungry because it doesn't do anything. Okay, it's just like eating paper. It doesn't hit the spot. There's merit to still foods that hit the spot. The satiation value on potatoes is very high. I'll even put it a better way. The satiation value on, say, 300 calories of potatoes, even though the potatoes might be this much, is higher than 300 calories of a bag of salad that's like literally 2.5 kgs of salad. The salad's more volume than the potatoes. And in a very short window of time, you'll feel like you have a full gut on a stretch, but it doesn't actually satiate. So there's the best way I can explain that. There's certain foods still, even in a lower amount of volume, that are going to be more satiating calorie for calorie than something that's crazy high volume that's basically pure water. Potatoes at a lower volume, equal calories to higher volumes of salad, are going to be more satiating for a longer window of time than that salad. That's the best way I could say it. It's not always just try to get maximum volume. Okay, you'll see some of these people push like a high volume diet to the extreme where they're just smashing in crazy amounts of like green vegetables and salad. That is not ideal for most people. Trust me, I've tried it all. So Opie Wokey 2754 says, what diet/lifestyle should I take on? Since I started a corporate job, I gained over 70 pounds in 2 years. Start counting the calories. Count the calories. Just start counting them. If you actually accurately count your calories every day, I guarantee you're going to just end up eating less. Okay? Push the fasting late into the day. If you can't count the calories of the foods you're eating, don't eat it. If you can't count it accurately, don't eat it. So I don't recommend eating foods you have to measure on a food scale, because you're going to screw it up. And then you're going to be like, I wasn't losing weight in a deficit, you'll be saying. You weren't in a deficit. Your calorie count, it doesn't mean anything if it's not accurate to get a trend, to get a proper trend. Eat packaged and canned goods. I'd rather somebody eat packaged goods that are trash, that they can count. And when I say trash, there is no trash. All food is healthy when you're in a state of weight loss. Straight up. Straight up. If you're in a state of weight loss, everything's healthy because the weight loss is healthy. Somebody that's losing weight eating 600 calorie Oreos on the day is going to get healthier if they're morbidly obese and they can maintain it. Let's assume they're maintaining that on a meal a day versus somebody that's eating like 2,000 calorie a day or 4,000 calorie a day of what they think's healthy, which might be some sort of a God knows what, something with vegetables, fruit, a pile of oil, and they think it's like a ribeye steak in there. You're not going to improve your health as fast as the guy that's not eating much on what you think is junk. Straight up. If you're fat, that's all that matters, is getting the calories low so your body starts chewing on body fat. And all your markers will get better. The Twinkie diet guy, go find that story. He proved it. He was eating literally mostly Twinkies and cookies at 1,800 calories a day for 2 months, and his maintenance was about 2,600. Obviously, that'll change as he lost weight, but he lost 28 pounds in 2 months. Every single marker improved. Every marker. Because the only thing that matters is the weight loss. The only thing that matters when you're fat is the weight loss. Will the protein have an effect once you're lean? Yeah. But then you're lean. Play. The only thing that matters when you're fat is the weight loss. Lose weight and as soon as you get rid of that dumb dogma where you think you need protein, you think you need fat, you're gonna lose weight so fast it'll make your head spin. If you understand you don't actually need anything, but if you are gonna eat a macro that's gonna create the most energy and the most satiation, is gonna be carbohydrate. You'll get the best results. Anybody that's stalled on a carnivore diet, I could break that stall on carbs. Potatoes will get the better result over your ribeye steak when it comes to weight loss because the calories will be lower and you'll be full on it. As soon as you get rid of the fear of not having protein, you're fat ass. You don't eat nothing. And when you cut the protein through the floor, you're going to have way more autophagy happen when it comes to chewing up the skin, even if you're not fasting. Because the protein activates things like mTOR. It actually almost promotes aging when it's high. Okay, if you have any kidney damage, which half of you fat pigs do and you don't even know it, the protein you want, you can have it right out of the diet. You can be running literally a 0 fat, 0 protein, straight carbohydrate diet with your snake juice salts. Get the best results you've ever seen in your life. And the adherence is high. Because there's so many choices of high water content carbs. And then you add shit back in. Now, again, is it limited to that? No. Is it limited? No. Okay, if you can run the calories low enough to elicit a weight loss result, eating chocolate, fine. Just to beat your fear of mixing fat and carbs, which there's no issue with it, except it's harder to keep the calories down. There's no issue. Try it out for a week. I dare you to try it. The chocolate diet. Eat chocolate that you can count in the package for 7 days in a row. If you're a woman, keep it under $1,000. Keep it under $1,000 if you're anybody. If you're a woman, keep it under $1,000 for sure. If you're a really fat dude, try to bring it as low as you can, but keep it under $1,500. You're going to lose body fat like crazy. All right, and that's literally the biggest, scariest diet ever. Mixing fat and carbs. Have you heard of the Randall cycle? Who cares? It's not the way it works. Like I said in the last live, your body, you can have cells that are using fat at the same exact time as other cells are using carbohydrate for fuel. Your body just doesn't pick and choose. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Again, the Twinkie diet guy proved this. I proved that anybody that's lean, that's just eating a regular looking diet. There's guys that stay lean just eating McDonald's every day because they just count the calories. Weight loss is king of improving your health when you're fat. And staying slim is king of keeping your health good, no matter what diet you're using to stay slim. No matter what diet you're using to stay slim, it's king of having the longest life. You want to get small and light. Okay, if you can't say that out loud, that you're like, I'm trying to get small, especially as a man, you're never going to lose weight. You're never going to lose weight. If you can't understand that most men that are even over 200 pounds, unless you're a big, big dude, Most men that are over 200 pounds that are average height, you got fat on you. You got fat on you. Okay, and once you get rid of the fear where you can yard the protein right out, we already done long fast. I can't believe people are still scared of that. Okay, go a month, literally on a zero on whatever proteins and plant foods. And no fat. Watch what happens, fatty. All right. Okay, my goals as a weight loss coach is to get people all the way to the end. Okay, all the way to the end. That is always my goal. If it happens, if it doesn't happen every time, okay, you'll be coaching somebody and they'll stall or go MIA or who knows. But my goal is to see people get slim. I don't care about weight loss that stops halfway there. Okay, it's cool to see some fast weight loss, but the goal, my goal and your goal should be to get it all off. That's how you're going to chew up the most loose skin as well, because the leaner you get and stay down there, especially when you're running the protein low, your body's going to try to chew up the protein on your skin, your epidermis. You got all this extra skin that's meat. Your body's amazing, you fat pigs. You gain a pile of calories when you get fat to live off of, and you even gain loose skin to live off for your protein needs. Okay, why do you need all this protein when you got an extra 30 pounds of loose skin you've gained over the years, getting up to 400 pounds? Okay, there's your ribeye, you idiot. There's your collagen, you idiot. Okay, you think that protein doesn't mobilize into the bloodstream if you're restricting dietary protein and get used to like hold muscle? Of course it does. That's why if you look back even at Kempner, when he's running that ward where he had people on the rice diet, people like that lose a whack of weight on a super low protein diet, they're loose. It's like their skin's like saran wrap. All right. Lee Bronson, man, said my hibernation mode glucose is 85. Do I have to keep an eye on anything else? 85? Shit. That's not even low yet, if that's what you're worried about. Okay, there's gonna be people, you're gonna see numbers like 60. Okay, you start getting under 60, even then, man, go by feel, you're good. You're good. Perfect. Moonwalker for Life said, Matt is a good person. He's just addicted to sugar. Food addiction is bullshit, man. Food addiction is bullshit. If you cut the electronics out of the human environment, nobody would be fat. Nobody. It doesn't matter if the only food choice you had was sugar. Nobody. You cut out all the modes of transportation. It's technology. That's it. Humans were never meant to have this much tech. And the tech after the war, after the Industrial Revolution, it blew up. Humans were never meant to have this much fucking tech. And now it's just grossly bad. Because now the tech isn't only carting your ass around like vehicles and cars in the 1920s, it's messing up your psyche. Okay, it's causing huge mental health issues. This tech is dangerous tech now. It's straight dangerous. Where a car, was it dangerous back then? Yeah, get in a car accident. But the cars only do like 25 miles an hour. Your Model T Ford. All right. Okay, but like now it's dangerous tech. It's just mind rot tech. Okay, it's designed to keep your eyes hooked. We live in this crazy eye-heavy society. Your eyes are hooked. Boom, 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 just scrolling your life away. And then we live in a very wealthy society. Anybody that's fat has like unlimited food. Enough food they can maintain a 500-pound body and still be poor. Yeah, poor in North America. Maybe you're poor in the United States compared to everybody else. But if you went to like some third world country, you'd be rich, you fat pig. Okay, there is no food addiction. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. If that's your excuse, you're a whiner. It's bullshit. Eating the food is a side effect. Are certain foods really calorie heavy per volume? Yeah. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference. The tech keeps you seated, and it keeps you even from going and getting the food. Okay, that is the big problem why we have an obesity epidemic. It's not because of the food, the way it's made, any of it. Okay, that's a very small drop in the bucket to why there's a problem. How many times do I have to prove it myself? Like, what did I do? That whole video, I have to try to put that one back up at least. Okay, I got it on my channel. Maybe I'll try to put that one back up. When I ate McDonald's for a meal a day for a month. Perfect blood markers, didn't gain a pound. Everything was perfect. Straight McDonald's. And dirty macros. Pile of fat, pile of carbs mixed together in the same meal. Okay, why didn't I get addicted? Because my environment was better than yours. The rest of it. Okay, the rest of it. How was I living at that time? I was literally living with a buddy who was a realtor. Minimal as hell. Okay, minimal as hell. Okay, I was never hooked on the internet like you idiots, you fat pigs. At that time, there wasn't even any Instagram yet. Nothing, none of that shit. There's no TikTok. Okay, if I was using the internet at all, I'd be watching actual videos on YouTube, knowledgeable stuff. Okay, now that's even all buried. There's nothing, like, my whole environment. Okay, I was actually going to the grocery store to buy food. I wasn't just ordering it there was no Uber Eats or nothing even yet when I was doing that. Man, you guys got to be honest with yourself and really look where the problem's at. The problem is your stupid tech. That's an environmental problem. Lose it. Okay, here's one. Sugar Water Pappy says Sean Baker himself was agreeing with me on a live about Kempner diet and carbs, but his viewers were in pure denial. You know what? That's not a lie. Some of them carnivore guys, the actual followers themselves get so dogmatic that even when the carnivore guys, like say Sean Dad Bod Baker says something that I'd agree with, the followers themselves just let it go in one ear and out the other. Like Baker himself, he doesn't dwell on it much because it would hurt his bottom dollar. But he said that calories do matter. He said you could actually, on a carnivore diet, you eat enough not to gain weight, not to lose weight. You just gain weight. He didn't say it like that, but he said it. And people just don't want to hear it. That's your fearless zero carb leader. And a diet that's not even a true therapeutic ketogenic diet. Not to mention, I want to say something else about some of these therapies. Just because a therapy is used to help one problem doesn't mean it's healthy. For example, a 4-to-1 keto diet, or even your elimination carnivore diet. Just because somebody would use we're talking a 4-to-1 keto diet for the C word. Like low protein, like 10% protein, 90% fat. Just because it could be a protocol, say for maybe the C word, which I'll tell you right now about that too. Breast C word, it thrives on ketones. All right? There's a lot of C words that will use ketones just like sugar to fuel, but that's not what makes you grow the C word. You need protein. That's why all the proper C word protocols are low protein. But just because there's a therapy like that doesn't mean it's healthy. For example, maybe there's a therapy to get rid of a skin problem from an elimination diet. Maybe it's just eating meat only, let's say. Let's say that's what you did. But the side effects, for example, from maybe you're in a calorie surplus or whatever, or the saturated fat is not good for your heart. It's not good for your arteries. So just because there's therapies out there, certain extreme therapies, doesn't mean they're healthy as a long-term diet. A 4-to-1 keto diet would be a perfect example. Your carnivore diet's a perfect example. Can you use it to get rid of some shit? Yeah. Long-term, it's not as healthy as running a moderate to low-protein diet and make sure your calories are low enough that you're not gaining weight. Like, getting slim is what's healthy to start with. Just because something can be used as a protocol in the short term to fight some sort of sickness doesn't mean it's a healthy long-term diet. All right. My Robo Life said, Cole, genuine question. I've had a lot of lymphatic stagnation. It's not really fat. Do I fast the same protocol? Sometimes when I fast, the lymph doesn't move and I don't. So first off, how fat are you? If you're fat, you need to ingest less calories. Get that part right. Start moving your ass around. Get the lymphatic system working. Okay? If you're not fat, like, I'm pretty sure you're probably fat. But, like, you know, moving, jumping, like, get in the water. Like, you know, like, there's lots of stuff to get your lymphatic system working better. But I guarantee if it's this big of a problem for you, you're a fat ass. Okay? You're a fat ass. Okay? Go into hibernation mode for 10 days straight. If there's an honest to God emergency situation, hibernation mode is the best. Better than any diet. Better than eating. It's always better to just not eat anything. If you have an emergency situation like atherosclerosis, it's so bad that you're going to get both legs cut off. It's always better to just cut the food. And that goes with, say, gallbladder issues, gallstones. If you have a gallbladder attack in life, the first thing you do is stop eating. Stop eating, start fasting, and get in apple cider vinegar. And if you can't do that for long because there's no calories, apple juice. You stop eating. The first thing you do, if you have a sign of something that's an emergency situation, you stop eating. You don't try to use dietary protocols like at that moment. You stop eating, especially if you're fat. All right. Okay, let's see what you guys weigh when you ask questions. What's your height and weight, you fat pigs? It's a weight loss channel. I do realize, too, there's some guys out there that still say DF in their titles and everything. It's because I come at stuff from a weight loss standpoint. Even Matt, he was losing weight so fast, they're literally flagging us, showing that he was losing weight that fast. Okay, they were saying it was like self-harm. But there's people, it's about how you say it. If you start saying, well, I'm in hibernation mode for healing, or I'm doing a DF for healing, it's different than saying I'm doing a DF to lose like this crazy amount of weight in a short period of time. It changes the content, or the way that the context matters, how they nail you. Okay, I'm a weight loss. This is weight loss. I only care about weight loss because weight loss itself gets rid of all the stupid health issues you guys keep bitching about. See, this guy said try rebounding to the guy with the lymphatic issues. Well, yeah, but if he's super fat, he won't be able to do any of that. That's why you got to know more context. How fat are you? John Dams, when I was saying earlier about people could lose weight eating chocolate if the calories are low enough. He said dark chocolate specifically, or milk chocolate, whatever you want. Okay, if you have issues with dairy, then just dark chocolate. Which is actually really funny, because you know women have that time of the month sometimes, and maybe, especially if they're fat, or they're like bleeding too much because they're so fat. Hormones are messed up because they're so fat. Okay, fibroids, uterus issues because they're so fat. Okay, what's the things you can cut out of your diet? Fat, protein, doesn't need to be there. Okay, but if you had to, and you keep the calories low, if you need some chocolate, might do the trick. Just keep the calories rock bottom, and then just, who cares about the protein? It's always going to be about drawing the calories down. Always. If you can do that in some way that feels good for you, go ahead. Okay, if you can do that in some way that feels good for you, it might not be, maybe it's a lot lower volume diet than somebody else that's on a low-fat diet. If you can run the calories low enough that you're eliciting a weight loss result, eating chocolate bars, do it. It isn't going to hurt you. Chocolate bars, chocolate diet. It's not going to hurt you. Okay, if you're counting the food, if you can't count it, don't eat it. Heat work is going to be good for the lymphatic system. But again, you guys are dwelling in bullshit. What's your height? What's your weight? Are you fat? Lose weight, eat less. Stop dwelling in these stupid symptoms that are like 99% of the time are caused by you being a fat ass. Okay, oh, can I still take my blood pressure meds and all this shit? How fat are you? Okay, maybe start a water fast and see what the blood pressure does. And if it comes down and gets too low, cut the blood pressure meds. Like, man. Okay, and how can I make that assumption that you're fat? Because like literally 90% of you are fat asses. You're at least 20 pounds overweight. That's all you need to be. Okay, you don't need to be 100 pounds to have crazy bad health issues. You only need to be 20, 30 pounds even over. Depending on your sleep and shit, you can have somebody that's 100 pounds overweight that's healthier cardiovascular-wise than somebody that's 20 pounds overweight that doesn't sleep and smokes. All right, let's see here. Oh my God. Ryan Roman Football says, saying don't eat protein is idiotic. We'll lose muscle, which means lowering your metabolism. Awful advice. You're an idiot. Okay? Stop worrying about protein. You're fat. You're fat. You're fat. Okay? Stop worrying about muscle loss. You're fat. You're fat. Man, chasing protein is idiotic. Okay? Go buy some more protein bars at 360 calories a pop. Okay, make sure you go do all that. Make sure you hit this minimum on the protein in the bodybuilding world of like, a gram per pound of lean body weight, which is way over the recommended anyway. You're fat. You're fat. You don't need any damn protein, you idiot. Plus, when you're super fat, you have so much loose skin. What do you think that is? It's protein. Okay, you ever stop to think that maybe the high protein advice isn't working too damn good? Because why is everyone so fat still? Plus, when they chase the protein, they're eating more fat usually. Okay, no one's eating lean protein barely at all. You're fat. Shut up. Okay, the best results I've ever seen were on a diet that is very low in fat and no protein other than what's in the plant foods, which is nothing. There's guys out there that are lean, that are lean like at 50 grams of protein a day at maintenance calorie counts. Dummies. You're fat. You're fat. You're fat. Low protein's gonna chew up your muscles. You're fat. Fuck. So a lot of these people need to lose muscle. Okay, Matt's anatomy is screwed up from having so much muscle and fat on him. His legs have a crazy amount of muscle. Anybody that's super fat's gonna have a crazy amount of muscle on their lower body. And it screws up the way your feet sit, screws up your hips. Lose muscle. A lot of these fat things need to lose muscle, especially the lower body. You're fat, you idiot. Okay, protein is so overrated. If there's one macro that's causing maybe even more health issues than anything, it's protein. Okay, you know what loves protein? The C word. You can't produce the C word without protein. Sugar does not produce the C word. Okay, can it feed the C word cells that are currently there? Yeah, doesn't even matter because the sugar will wrap up your immune system and that your body will still fight it. Can fat feed the C word? Yeah. But does it produce more C word, more tissue? No. Protein is too high. Okay, and that's another thing. Just because muscle doesn't make you healthier either. So all these jackasses are like, more protein, more muscles, better. No, it isn't. No, it's not. Okay, if you got to eat more protein and maintain this high level of muscle mass, that doesn't mean it's the healthiest diet. It's the same what I was saying before about some sort of a therapy might be good for a short term to fix something short term, but it's not the healthiest diet. It's the same thing. You can look at a high protein bodybuilding diet the same way. Okay, it helps me recover from crazy high training volume, which isn't good for you anyway. And then you have the side effects of the kidneys working way harder and the side effects of having way higher risk of producing the C word tumors. Protein is so overrated. So overrated. You're just so scared. You guys are such pussies. The amount of protein that I've been eating lately is nothing. Okay, you can run it so low. Okay, even like I bring up the Twinkie diet guy, he was running like 100 grams of protein a day at 6'2" or 6'1" on an 1,800 calorie a day diet, and that was even high. Okay, there's guys out there that are lean, 6'1", like 170, are doing body weight training that are like eating like 50, 60 grams of protein a day, and that doesn't even apply to a fat ass. That's somebody that's already lean. Jeez, muscle loss phobia. What about your muscles? Doesn't much matter about your muscles when you're so fat that you're going to go into cardiac arrest because you got plaque buildup in your arteries, you idiot, and you're in heart attack city. Okay? Heart attack city. Like, how many of those strong men have more muscle than anybody and they're in heart attack city? And that's why their lives are short. Do you want to live longer or not? One of the worst things is to eat in a way that is completely tunnel vision on building muscle if you want to live as long as you can live and have the highest quality of life. Not to mention the way most people train beats the shit out of you. I know this because I competed in powerlifting for 10 fucking years. Worst advice known to man is telling people to chase protein. Yet the calorie count is so much easier to keep low when you don't have any phobias of restricting a macro like protein. What about fasting? Fasting, there's nothing. There's no protein at all. You're gonna lose muscle. Man, go cry. Okay, asthma, I gotta beat that to death, man. Okay, you guys are protein phobic. Your fear of not getting enough protein. I need more protein. Where's my protein? Fucking shut up. That's why you're fat. Because in this journey to chasing protein, you end up chasing way more calories in. Okay? Like, this is how you beat the phobia. Pull the protein out for a month. And I'm talking, like, if there's protein in some of the plant foods, so what? Okay, we're trying to yard the calories down as low as you can get them. If there's a little bit of protein in the potatoes, so I'm talking stop chasing it. And you'll get such a crazy weight loss result. We're dealing with fat people. I'm done with dealing with people that have so much body dysmorphia that aren't even overweight, which is still not many because most people are overweight. But I get a lot of people that aren't even overweight. People that are watching some fat person's journey and think they should be eating the same way as them. Or they're watching a fat person lose weight and they're like a good weight and they think that they should be losing weight like that fat person's losing it. Because you know why? Again, comes back to electronics. Okay, you're comparing yourself to others. That's why you got all this body dysmorphia. Comparison's a thief of joy. Maybe the first step of getting rid of that shit is get off Instagram and the internet and stop looking at all these women that are all plastic. It's a lot of women deal with that shit. Or the men are looking at some guy with ab etching and on a pile of gear. All right. Vera Mary's, why? 5G says, Cole, you piss me off sometimes, but you're objectively intelligent. Good. Be pissed off. Learn to deal with your emotions. Okay, because that's the problem. You're not emotional eaters. You're just emotional whiners. That's the biggest issue. Most people are just have no control of their emotions. Okay, I put on this character on here, which I've toned down a lot, but behind the phone shit, I don't react to nothing. I don't react to anything. It's like I don't ever get overly excited or overly upset. It's always even key. Okay? You're an emotional whining baby. Okay? Don't have that cop, but I'm an emotional eater. No, you're just weak. You're just an emotional whiner. Maybe you should, go do something. If you're going to get emotional, maybe apply that to something that's actually productive. Be an emotional walker. Okay? Be an emotional swimmer. Be an emotional faster. And we know there are those ones out there too, but it's like that many. They're called skeleton women. They emotionally don't eat, which would be better than being a fat pig. Okay, I like coaching somebody that's underweight is so easy compared to trying to get a lazy pig to lose weight. People that are underweight are tougher than nails. Okay, their issue's not being lazy. Shit, some of them are doing like 2,000 sit-ups a day to try to keep weight off. All right. Okay, even this, Vera Mary said again, I'm not even a fat pig. I watch Cole's rants to LARP as one so I can get from 18% body fat down to 10. Like, lose that attitude too. Like, who cares about body fat percentages? Like, stop listening to all these jackasses just talking about body fat percentage. Just look in the mirror. Are you fat or not, man? Are you fat or not? Stop being like, I'm trying to get from 18.754% body fat down to 9.368 body fat. Like, shut up. Okay, just use the mirror and the scale and lose some weight and get the scale trending down. Stop putting a stupid, that's a dumb goal. 10% body fat doesn't mean anything because you don't even know what you're going to look like at 12 because you're still 18. Who cares? Okay, get the scale trending down and settle into a lifestyle you feel you can sustain and start looking in the mirror and hopefully you don't have body dysmorphia and that sooner or later you'll be truly happy with where you're at for body weight. Man, even 18% body fat for a male isn't even that bad. Okay, we're talking about fat asses here and you're worried about 18%? It's like, if you feel really good at 18% and you're athletic, what's the issue anyway? Other than just straight up self-esteem problems and lack of confidence. Because you're watching too much shit on Instagram mainly. And what other places people are putting up their pictures where they're on drugs and running their mouths about body fat percentage. Okay, let's see. Man, let that shit go. Get back to fucking reality. All right, let's see here. Okay, here's a question. Cree MM says, has your leptin feedback loop, he says just leptin. Has your leptin ever got screwed up getting low body fat. Mine got completely tanked when I got very low. Ronnie Coleman bulking diet on OMAD wouldn't even put a dent in my hunger for satiation. Well, guess you're too slim. If that was an issue, like why were you even trying to get that lean in the first place? And you can always gain weight back. Okay, we're talking about fat asses trying to lose weight to get back to a normal life. Okay, most people have no business even trying to cut to a place where it's like so difficult on a day-to-day basis. Why are you even doing that? Now, difficulty's in the eye of the beholder, obviously. Difficult for a fat pig's a joke for somebody who's got some discipline. But there's going to be a certain place where it's like difficult is going to be, no matter how much discipline you have, it's going to be, you're getting so lean, it's just straight up a nightmare to maintain that. So why even live that way? Okay, why live that way? What is it, a problem with not thinking you can get women? Okay, that's what a lot of what this shit comes down to. That's what you hear on the internet from guys. Oh, you got to be this way to get a woman. Okay, maybe you should just practice. If that's an issue, like that's a way off topic shit. Like, but that's a big problem with these young guys. They think they got to like be this certain way and shit, and they haven't even solved the basic problem. Like fear of rejection and like actually going out in public and maybe saying even hi, where it's not a meat market or get their ass off a dating site and just go out in public and try to meet somebody. You got no confidence because you watch too much shit on Instagram. Okay, little side tangent there. Okay, there's no good reason to try to get to some stupid low body fat percentage. There isn't. Like if it's getting to a point where it's just your life's a nightmare, it's pointless. It's pointless. And what's low? Low would be something like, low would be something that you are definitely having testosterone issues. You're low enough. All right? That would be low. Low would be something where your athleticism starts to actually drop. Like bad. Okay? But most people aren't even getting there anyway. That'd be like 1 in 20 million people. So if that's not a problem. Like being too lean is not a problem. Just gain some weight back. If it's a problem with you with confidence, that's you got to deal with that. Okay, and where's the lack of confidence coming from? So that's a whole another therapy session. All right, let's see here. See, and like there's genetics there too. Like, man, it's not even, I don't even like dwelling in that shit. I'm trying to get fat people their lives back. Okay, I just don't have time for motherfuckers that are trying to go from 12% body fat to 7. It's a waste of my fucking time. Okay, there's nothing worse than the guys that come to me and they send me pictures and they look pretty damn good. Like better than anybody you'd probably see out in public on a day-to-day, and they're not happy with it. Because they're watching too much, they're listening to too much fucking bullshit on the internet. Let's see here. Yeah, here's a good quote. So, Mosh Bear Pig said, Whole Foods are for animals in the woods. Ultra-processed foods got me shredded because the calories are easy to count. Whatever works, that's what I keep saying. If you can't count it, don't eat it. If you're serious about losing weight. And you at that point, you need to know a calorie count that'll get you a result, for sure. Like, no gambling on it. If you're a woman, don't piss around with 1,500 a day. Okay, get it down to $1,000 or less if you're a small woman. And you understand that women that are really short should be like under 100 pounds. Like if you're a woman, most women that are 5 feet tall or less, if you're 4'10", you should be like 90 pounds, 95. Okay, these numbers don't even compute with most people anymore. Okay, most of you men should be under 200. If you're under 6 feet tall, you should be under 200 pounds. Most men would be under 200 pounds that are under 6 feet tall if they're drug-free and pretty, like not even grossly lean. Okay, that's how heavy you should be. I know guys that are my height that are like 240 And they think they'd be at a good weight at 200. Man, they're still fat. Like they think they're big. You're not big, you're small, unless you're on drugs. Humans are small, unless you're like on the far end of the bell curve for height. You're small. Like, man, I got a guy, like comeback protocol. You know who he is, Manny? This guy's like 240 pounds at 6'8" when he's playing basketball. And strong. All right? Michael Jordan was like 210 at like 6'6". Strong. You think these guys weren't strong dudes still? Were they big ass bulky bodybuilders? No. But they were strong and in shape at that height. Okay, these men are delusional. There's this movement that's saying that like 200 pounds or under is victim weight. Yeah, that's just a perfect excuse to eat like a pig and be a fat ass. Man. Oh, I'm going to be honest to this one. Okay, John Boston 2298 said, Cole, have you worked with people with high histamine? When you fast, initially the symptoms get worse, but I can tell my friends you have to push through. Thank you, Cole. Good work, but I'm going to say a lot of shit is literally there's a lot of problems when you start talking about, man, like some of these, like, you know, what do you call it? Like, candida, paranoia, like all this shit. Okay, again, people are just either fat or they're literally hypochondriacs because there's other mental health issues. Okay, I've seen this a million times. Like, you can't solve, some of these people's problems just can't be solved because they're hypochondriacs, because they got some other mental health issue. Or they're again, a lot of it's electronics because they're on there on some group that's making money on selling you some stupid elixir for your candida. Okay? If you just got off the electronics, lived your fucking life, you'd be fine. There's so much bullshit, and even the histamine stuff, I hear that a lot. And it's like, Matt, lose weight, do some fasting, and your body will straighten itself out if you listen to it. Listen to it. You can't be paranoid of food choices. Okay, you can't be paranoid of carbs. Okay, your zero carb carnivore diet is dog shit for gut health. Okay, it's an elimination diet that'll screw up your microbiome if you're on it long enough, and then you can't eat anything without an issue. So now you think everything's bad for you because now you can't eat nothing because you've lost adaptation. How many people have I helped in the past start microdosing other foods and to beat that problem that actually got so hardcore with a straight meat-only diet for way too long? It's a lot of this shit's just straight mental health problems. You get on their stupid Facebook group. Oh, what's the group called? What's the Candida group called? Or this group or that group? Okay, and then you get so paranoid. There's a zero carb group saying that, oh, carbs do this, carbs do that. That's bad, 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 bad. You're brainwashed. You're scared. You live in complete gross fear. Okay, how do you get out of that rut? You need to face some fucking fear. The very thing you're scared of, go for it. Are you going to die? Like, are you going to die if you, like, say you quit your zero carb carnivore diet and just did, like, you know, zero fat, crazy low protein and potatoes and fruit? Are you going to die, fatty? No. No. Here's a good one. I was going to mention him anyway. Sarah Perilla, 89, said, Alex Leonidas eats a low-protein diet and he's ripped. Yeah, he's one of the... He's natural and he's ripped. He's a small dude. He's shorter than I am. And he definitely he used to eat a lot of meat, but he's maintaining all his muscle on that plant-based diet, eating like 110 grams of protein a day. And he probably... And most people, that's his thing. Okay, he's still like in the bodybuilding world. So your average person could drag the protein even lower than that. But pound for pound, he's probably arguably on YouTube. There's people that aren't even on YouTube. There's guys even that follow me that got no followers. On one guy I've talked to on Instagram is just ludicrously strong pound to weight ratio. Some of these guys in Germany that do the bodyweight calisthenics competitions. But Alex, for a guy on YouTube, he's probably one of the strongest pound for pound guys on YouTube. And he's been eating that plant-based diet for a while. So it doesn't matter if you built your body up on the meat. If you're maintaining what you built on the meat on the plant-based diet, that just goes to show you could have built it on the plant-based diet. It's just so. See, and I'm not a vegan, but like I'm not gonna shit on something that blatantly, if you're copycatting him, you're gonna get a similar result. If you're living with him, copycatting the meal routine, you're gonna get a similar result. And I'll tell you right now, when it comes to therapies to get rid of arterial plaque, there's one good one, and it's a low-fat diet. Low animal fat diet and weight loss. Weight loss first. Weight loss more important than that even. Weight loss first on a low saturated fat diet. Okay, that's a fact. That's a proven fact. Now, if you're slim and lean, is that going to matter that much as long as you're slim and lean? Probably not. There's not many lean dudes dying of heart attacks at 50. Okay, so if you're eating some saturated fat and you're lean, okay, you're lean, your lifespan automatically increased because you're slim. And that's why even sumo wrestlers, it's interesting when they bulk, they're actually eating a fairly low protein diet and a lot of clean, like a lot of unsaturated fat and pile of carbs because they still want to get fat, but they want to do it in a way that's not cancer promoting, the C word promoting. Okay, if you're done the C word, protein's the worst. It's not sugar feeds the C word. Sugar ain't doing shit. Almost every C word elimination protocol from 1900 is based in sugar. Because the protein's the problem and being in a surplus of the calories and stress. So that's why you need to produce a lot of C word real fast. No sleep. Make sure you're in a state of weight gain or already fat so you're maintaining a fat body. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, if you're eating maintenance but you're fat, you might as well be eating in a surplus. You might not be in a surplus with respect to your current body fat ass weight, but you're fat. You're fat. You're fat. Okay, you're not at a weight where your body's trying to like have a lot of turnover rate at a low body weight. Bad sleep, lots of calories, protein. That's going to be the worst for developing more of the C word. Pull the protein, get a good sleep. Make sure you're in a state of weight loss. That's going to get rid of the C word. Doesn't matter if your diet is pure sugar. And this is like, man, this is 100 years of literal C word protocols. It's always been sugar-based. Always. Always. If you take the protein out of that diet and yield a weight loss result, you're going to get rid of the C word. It doesn't matter if you're giving the body straight sugar that's feeding the C word cells because you're not producing more of them without the protein. And the immune system and the general weight loss has created so much autophagy, you're going to chew up those C word cells because they're weaker than healthy, proper cells. That's why fasting's a protocol for it too. Same shit. Fasting, just cutting everything. And hibernation mode DF fasting is the most hardcore for it. Because now not only are you cutting everything, you're creating like these little incinerators with your good cells, just chews up the bad cells, like the bad C word cells like crazy. Which is what Filanov in Russia has been doing for years. Okay, there's people that can get through like stage 4 C word on a crazy DF. A D fast. 12 days. And they go into it when they're not even fat. Like there's some serious risk of death there. Not when you're a fat ass. There's no risk of nothing, just weight loss. Yeah, this guy said muscles don't matter if you're dead. Exactly. There's way too much. There's too much money in this shit. There's a lot of money in making specifically, well, men and women, making them chase excessive amounts of muscle. Because now if I get somebody brainwashed where I need more muscle, muscle's better for longevity, all this excess muscle, like how much do you need? Then you can sell them all sorts of drugs. You can sell them a stupid amount of protein supplements. Lose that attitude and you'll go places. I had that attitude for a long time. But you know what was actually funny? When I was younger, I cared more about performance than actually gaining muscle. So I never chased protein when I was younger. I just chased performing good. It wasn't like till I got older and you start listening to a bunch of, bodybuilders and shit where you're actually trying to chase tissue. So then I never ever chased protein when I was younger. I just ate. And I exercised and my performance was it was like a performance thing. Not just like sheer fuck aesthetics and size and shit. Okay, let's see this one here. Stacks on said, Cole, my dad had triple bypass surgery over 6 years ago. Does not take meds and is at a healthy weight. Can he still do a DF for longevity? Okay, the dry fasting, other than the only thing that's going to be a risk at all is if you get low on electrolytes. That's why you don't do anything during it. But does he have to do it to lose weight? No. Okay, in fact, nobody should be partaking in anything. Like even a water fast or hibernation mode DF. Like if you can't hold on to a calorie count on the day-to-day that's putting you in a deficit, meaning the scale is going down over time, you have no business doing any of this other shit. Okay, you need to be able to eat on a day-to-day basis and elicit some sort of a fat loss result. I don't care if you're losing 1 gram of fat per day. If you can't do that every day, you have no business even doing any of this other shit because you're just going to gain the weight back. Okay, like settle into that. Okay, settle in. Or like again, even if you're eating a diet that's really hard to not go like not that's really hard to overeat on, like the boiled potatoes, still eat as much potatoes as you would be comfortable with eating. A meal a day is going to work perfect. And then weigh what you ate just to see what the calories were. And that's the other problem. People are always chasing a calorie count like they didn't get enough in. If you end up only eating 300 cal and you're done, go to bed. Why would you eat more just because? Because of what? You're fat. Where do you think the other calories are going to come from? Right up your gut, you idiot. Man, it's crazy when people are chasing a calorie count they have set in their stupid MyFitnessPal. Like, oh, if I'm under 1,200, I'm too low. And yet they'll say that in one breath when they're actually eating food each day. Then the idiot will go do a 3-day water fast. And they won't even question it then. When you're at a zero, you're at 100% deficit, for crying out loud. Like, man, people are stupid. Like, always think back to that. Like, even the potatoes, any of it that you're scared of. Oh, there's no protein in this. Think of the potato routine on a meal a day as a fast, as a water fast. Think of it that way, so then you're not so scared. I'm just fasting, right? It's all good when you're just fasting, but somehow when you start eating food, it's an issue. Treat it like a damn fast then. Think of it like you're doing a fast. Okay, I'm going to do fruit or a meal a day on fruit and potatoes for a month. So you don't get all up in your head that there's like no meat there, it's low protein. Treat it like you're doing a 30-day water fast, idiot. So then you're not worried about it anymore, are you? All right? Treat anything that seems like a hardcore deficit like it's a water fast, because that's as hardcore as it gets, right? Like, man, you're at 0 cal. You're at 0 protein, 0 fat, 0 carbs. How do you get more aggressive than that? You can't. As far as the macros go, okay, now more aggressive would be doing like a hibernation mode DF fast, D fast. Okay, but that's how you get over it. You're mentally, you're okay with. It's crazy how many. It's like I'll have even women. They'll be okay with hearing a story about a woman doing like a 2-week fast or a 7-day fast. But then as soon as that woman's eating a diet that's just like straight carb, no fat, everyone's freaking out. What about your hormones? Well, what about your hormones during that 7-day fast? You're fat. There is no issue. The reason you're all screwed up, your hormones are all screwed because you are fat. All right. Rubber Chicken Man 007 says, I'm 165 pounds, overweight. I want to DF until all the weight is off, but I'm concerned about minerals and salts. Is there an effective way to do this so I don't wreck my kidneys and have heart palpitations? I'm going to tell you something. For one, the kidneys will actually start to reproduce. They'll start to produce healthy tissue back. All right? Now, the thing is, too, like, I'll tell you something about hibernation mode. You will quit. You will give up before anything bad would happen. I will say that about, that would be like literally, that'd probably be 9,999 people out of 10,000. You'll have the one guy out of 10,000 that actually partakes in a dry fast that he could go long enough that he'd die. So use common sense. If you start feeling like you're like, oh, I might die, then break it. But as far as somebody that's overweight, they have no problems. And if you only have a few pounds to lose, then why don't you just settle into a lower calorie count and just bust the weight off that way? Unless there's some reason you're going to do that hardcore fast for another issue that you want to get rid of right away. Okay, Secret 101 says 159 pounds, 5'6", want to go to my comfortable weight at 135 pounds. Should I DF? Start one. And then during that D-fast, then start to do some research on how many calories should I eat per day when I get off of this. If you're a woman, go 1,000 or less and see what the scale does. Like, where's your weight log? The weight log will tell you everything. Okay, why do you think we were logging Matt's weight every day while he was here? You learn from the trend. All right. Okay, here's one. Luke Abaddon said, I'm losing crazy amounts of weight on the snake juice and diet pop. Well, yeah, calories are 0. What do we got here? Okay. Classy Chick 42 says, hello, I want to do a long water fast for at least 21 days to 30 days. And I wanted to know what are your ingredients for the do-it-yourself electrolyte water, snake juice. So here's the snake juice salts. If you can't get it where you're at, liter of water, throw a teaspoon of sodium, teaspoon of potassium. There's your snake juice, fresh water on the side, and go by feel. That's it. Okay, that's it. And also, like, start. Don't be like, I have a lot of people like, what would happen if I did a 30-day water fast? Well, you're never going to do it. So why even ask it? Start. Just start. Instead of asking yourself things about what would happen during certain macro splits and diets and calorie counts, like maybe do it. Like, what do you think I do? Okay, well, half the shit I've even talked about in the past isn't even on the internet. Okay, like I did a pop fast for 3 days. Okay, I was doing things that they named years later, like fat fasting. Okay, I was essentially doing that shit in like 2016. Okay, just for experiment. It's crap. It's a crappy protocol, but I've done all sorts of crap. Okay, the hibernation mode, the D-fasting, I was doing that in 2016, 17. Nobody was talking about that shit. There was like one other guy on YouTube, and he had like a tiny little following. That's it. And he was this guy, I'll name him. His name is Davin. He's wearing a top hat. He smokes cigars. But then he started selling a bunch of supplements and shit too, which you didn't need any of it. Hayden Tomato said, what do you think about supplement with creatine during losing weight? Why? Why do you need any of it? You don't need none of this shit. Every time somebody's like, buy my shit, buy this, buy that, like, why? Even the snake juice salts. Okay, for a water fast, you want to get your salts in. If you're going crazy low on the calories, you're going to have to hit your salts. But how many times have I told you can go to the store and make your own snake juice up? You're essentially buying this to support me, or if you're traveling or something like that, it would be handy. You know, but it's like you're doing it to support me. I told you, like, you could go to the store and buy the salts and make up snake juice in 2 seconds. Not to mention, this actually has potassium in it, where your stupid element might as well be just using McDonald's salt packets. There's like no potassium in element. It's just straight sodium. It's a complete ripoff. And it's more money than this. Okay, what's this? Oh, shit. Sam, I spoke too soon. So Comeback Protocol says, what's the name of the city for Fat Camp? I want to look for housing right now. I live in Drayton Valley, Alberta. Drayton Valley, Alberta. The reason where I live works so good is because this is kind of what came from having Matt here. I have kind of a vision where people could just come here and I could make my rounds and have like a group meetup. And we got our swimming pool facility is gold. Okay, we got gyms here. Like, that's one thing about where I live. It's way better than in the States. There's no small towns with the shit that where we're at. Like, even the cities where I live, like, anybody I talk to in the States, they don't have the facilities where I live because it's cold here parts of the year. We have indoor facilities that kick the shit out of everything in the States. Like, even the city had the first Fat Camp in, Edmonton, Alberta, that city, like, has crazy amounts of rec centers all over the place. And big indoor pools, like, yeah, so I live in Drayton Valley, Alberta. You know, and that's the accountability, flipping your environment on its head. Okay, that's where I'm probably going to go with this. I wouldn't even have the people living with me directly, but it's such a small town. It's like literally I could drive anywhere in any direction in like 1 minute, 2 minutes. Okay, I'll off the scale. I'll be like the doctors that used to come into your house back in the day. Okay, I have the scale. Shit, I might even get like I might go buy another blood pressure meter and shit. Okay, come in there, weigh ya. Okay, take you to the grocery store, look at the calories, teach you how to eat. Accountability on the scale. Get people making YouTube channels. Okay, make Drayton Valley Drayton Valley Fat Camp. Okay, you come into Drayton Valley, maybe I'll even blow some money and get like snake diet sign coming right into town. It's like home of the snake diet. All right, let's go. Okay, let's see here. So people are saying, made new aesthetic said, Comeback Protocol, direct message him if you're serious, schedule a call. So I've talked, it's Manny, I've talked to him lots. Okay, Manny, his transformation could be insane. Insane. He's been losing weight since me and Matt started doing our thing, and now he's got some good momentum. David Bluify said, dude, what happened to the sugar diet Mark Bell? It's just fruit. The sugar didn't go anywhere last time I checked. Like, did they stop selling sugar at the store? I haven't been in the store for a couple, maybe 16 hours. They stopped selling sugar at the store. All right. Let's see here. Ace of coins said, following Cole's recommendation for fasting, I dropped 91 pounds in 4 months and cured all my allergies. Nice job. Nice. Nice. Nice job. Let's see. Mosh Bear Pig said Jason Blaha is the strongest YouTuber. You know what? One thing, Jason, he's actually, I think he's almost doing somewhat of a plant-based diet, or he has. And, you know, he'll cite some actual decent science, old Blaha. And, you know, I actually made him, he was talking about saturated fat. Like, the science is so clear on how bad excessive amounts of saturated fat are for your arterial blockages and shit. It's ridiculous. Now, if you're lean, does that mitigate that a lot? Yeah. But if you're in a state of being fat or in a state of weight gain, gaining weight on a diet that's crazy high in saturated fat's the worst thing you possibly do. If you actually had a reason to gain weight, like to actually put on some fat, you'd want to do it on a diet that's low in saturated fat. That's how you'd want to do it. And that's exactly how you'd want to do it, if that was the goal. Okay, and it's funny, you got a guy like Alex, like Leonidas, you know, these guys, he's eating a plant-based diet. And like pound for pound, like even like it's funny how mediocre some of the people you guys look up to are, like even like on a level of explosive fitness. Like people always put Baker on a pedestal. Baker's genetics are insane. Sean Baker, he's big. Okay, but he doesn't perform that great at all. Give me a break. And he's not even that old. He tries to use his age to sell shit. He's only 59 years old. He's not that old. Okay, there's guys out there that are training in the parks that are like 70 some years old, that are ripped, doing body weight training, that are eating essentially every, like, a low-fat plant-based diet. There's even guys that still eat junk, but the calories just low, and they're so both opposites of a carnivore. One that's like French fries and shit. That guy's lean and old. Another guy's doing a plant-based diet. He's lean and old, training in the parks. Okay, because they don't overeat. They don't overeat. The calories are on point. That's the number one thing, always. Okay, like why? I am not dogmatic towards foods. Why do you think I don't eat a zero-carb carnivore diet myself? Did you ever wonder that? Because it sucks. It sucks for so many reasons. It's expensive. It screws up your bowel movements. Okay, your body still runs on sugar. It's stressful. If you do have kidney issues and you don't even know about it, it's going to be bad for that. And nobody's doing a crazy low-protein, high-fat diet, like a true keto diet. They're doing this this diet where you're eating just pounds and pounds of meat. It screws up your gut biome. It causes thyroid function problems, especially with women that are going through menopause. It's shit. All right. All right, let's see here. It's just dumb shit. It's dumb shit. And that's why the results suck. Okay, the results suck. If you want to compare a low-fat vegan diet for straight weight loss, if somebody was 500 pounds and they're going to try to get really serious about their weight loss, somebody eating a low-fat plant-based diet on a meal a day is going to lose weight so much faster, have so much higher adherence than somebody trying to lose it on that carnivore diet will make your head spin. That's my bag, baby. I'm a weight loss guy. What's going to get the best result, the fastest result with the highest adherence and spending the least amount of money? Half of these fat pigs are broke. They can't, like, I know people that blow their whole bankroll on the stupid shit that Baker eats. Like, Baker just takes your money and goes and buys himself $100 fucking ribeye steaks for dinner. It's just bullshit. Okay, his strength to weight ratio is dog shit. Like, man, he's way too heavy for his strength to weight ratio. When it comes to getting up on a bar, I would make Baker look like a joke. A joke. When it comes to getting up on a bar, that's what matters. Okay, that shows that that's a true level of health as far as I'm concerned. When somebody can get up on a bar and get up there and throw their body through space. If you can't do that as a male, your strength to weight ratio sucks. It doesn't matter how much you can bench press, deadlift, and squat. If you can't throw your body up in the air with your arms and make it look like that's a true strength to weight ratio test. That's the true strength to weight ratio test. Let's see here. Okay, so Stall City Trainer was saying for longevity, some recommend doing 5 and 2 fast for fasting, mimicking every 2 to 3 months. Honestly, a couple fasts every month is going to do nothing for you if the rest of the time you're eating like shit. Okay, end of the day, you need to stay slim. If somebody's fat and they're throwing in a 72-hour fast once a month and they're like just still fat and doing whatever else on the other 27 days, it ain't doing shit. Weight loss. Weight loss is what matters. Getting slim, not just weight loss, getting slim is what matters. Even women. A woman should be able to do a pull-up. If she is light enough, she should be able to do a pull-up. I know untrained women that just got light enough, they can do one pull-up without even lifting weights. Like without doing anything. Just straight up on body weight. Because they're light. Okay, let's see here. See, I wish I had more questions about calories on here. Everyone's always, you can see you can see the stupid diet culture all the time. Everybody's always asking about everything that's the most extreme thing rather than calorie count. Or then they're not even mentioning their calorie count and they're not mentioning their height and weight. Like without seeing your height and weight and you ask me some question, like I have no context to put on what I should answer. Because if you're a fat ass, I can say one thing. If you're not even fat, I can be like, don't even think about doing that. Okay. Okay, this is a good call. Look at this. Rubber Chicken Man 007 says, I don't want the loose skin or lipomas. That's the reason for the 55-day DF, so hibernation mode. They're all over my body ever since I went carnivore. I'm telling you guys, a low-protein diet. So we already know the calories are going to dictate the weight loss. The low-protein diet, especially when you're fat, is going to be so much better. If you have tumors in your bodies you don't even know about. Anybody that's telling you to eat a bunch of protein is an idiot. Especially and they're telling you to eat fatty meat, which is double idiot. Okay, you need to eat high water content, starch fruit, things like that, vegetables. Keep the protein down, run the fat through the floor ideally is going to make you run the most deficit to lose the weight. If you do it on OMAD, even better, something that looks like some intermittent fasting. If you want to throw in something, once you have that under control and you can stick to that routine, then if you want to throw a longer hardcore fast in, hibernation mode, water fast, whatever. But pulling the protein low as hell, right to nothing when you're a fat ass, is going to make your body chew up some serious shit. That it could be the cause of your death. Okay, plaque, tumors, like especially like the hardcore tumors, even stuff that could be blocking your colon. Okay, amyloid plaque in your brain. Protein is so overrated. And when it comes to a lot of problems, it is the problem. Fat is the problem when it comes to too many calories. Protein is a problem when it comes to tumors. And sugar is what our bodies run on. Is there protein in your blood at any given time when you're fasting? How much protein's in your blood? Okay, how much fat's in your blood? How much sugar's in your blood? It's the only one that's in any abundance is a sugar. Whole world runs on sugar. It starts from the sun, photosynthesis, plants, sugar, 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 sugar. Okay, do you need protein eventually when you get slim? Yeah. Do you need it when you're a fat ass? No. You need to run the calories through the floor and get rid of that dogma. And in fact, cutting the protein would be more beneficial for your health than even having it in there. All right. Sugar water, Pappy said, people think the sugar diet went away. What do you think I had Matt doing the whole time he was here? Sugar diet, 1 meal a day, low count. That's what we were doing every day. The hype went away. The results are not disputed. Even Sean Baker himself said so. See, the only thing that got all screwed up before is what the sugar diet even was. Sugar diet is sugar. It's carbs. Okay? It got screwed up where at one point I actually gave Mark Bell a protocol that was basically sugar in the day and meat at night. That's not the sugar diet. That's just what he ended up putting a spin on it. Okay, the sugar diet is sugar. It's just what I'm saying. It's a low-fat, high-carb diet, plant-based, low protein. And then all the dense sugar sources that got carried away. Even I was guilty of that. Candy and shit. Trash. Dense sugar sources shouldn't be in there. Unless you're like skinny as a rail, or you'd have to wrap the calories up. Okay, when you're fat, why would you be eating high-dense sugar source, high-dense calories via sugar? You might as well be just eating fat then. You might as well just be adding fat to it then if you're eating so much sugar, because here's the truth. Okay, all your FGF21 bullshit still gets activated by a diet that's low protein, even if there's fat in the diet. Okay, when you run the protein low, you cut the fat out because the calories are crazy high. You cut out the dense sugar sources because the calories aren't as high as the fat, but they're still high. You go with whole food carbohydrates, and you do a little bit of intermittent fasting to really bring the calories down. Cut the protein out because that just increases calories. Plus, by cutting the protein out, you're going to heal your kidney problems that you don't even know you have. You're going to get rid of tumors and shit. Why do you think Kempner was doing that kind of a diet in that ward? He would reverse kidney disease like off the charts with a high percentage, reverse type 2 diabetes 100% of the time. And you're getting rid of tumors because that's the problem. Okay, that is the problem, is the protein is the issue combined with stress and a calorie surplus or being fat when it comes to the C word. Stall City Train says, Sean Dadbard Baker can only perform for 10 seconds. Yeah, he's not in that good of shape. He's not in that good of shape. He's in good shape to his minion followers that are all impressed by mediocrity. I will say Saladino's in way better shape than Baker. And Saladino, he just eats a mixed macro split. Nothing special about his diet. He eats a pile of calories and does a pile of surfing to burn it off. But he's in definitely better shape than Baker by far. And his diet's healthier in the sense that his body proves that he's healthier because he can handle variety. Okay, that's the problem. If you can't handle variety in your diet, your stomach's screwed up. A lot of these people on a zero-carb carnivore diet can't handle variety. That's not healthy. What's so healthy about somebody that can't even eat some potatoes or some sort of a vegetable without having a problem with digestion? Okay, like people are so brainwashed. It's just a waste of time. That's why weight loss cuts through all the bullshit. Because people can talk, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat this, but you get weight off, and there's no arguing. And especially if you took a look at what the person was eating on the calorie count, it's so self-explanatory. There's no magic. Everyone thinks it's magic. Magic. Like, here's the truth. Even like Bill Knott, you guys heard of him? He's like the guy that they're propping up in the carnivore community. They don't give him any credit for his just raw discipline because he got propped up so hard. He's probably scared to death of failing now. Okay, but if I was living with Bill Knott, I guarantee you I could have him eat pizza every night at a certain amount of calories and drinking a good amount of water, and he'd be losing weight on it. Because I'd just show him how much to eat, and he'd be fine. Okay, he doesn't need to be doing carnivore to get the weight off. Okay, like no one gives him credit for his discipline, but if somebody was living with him like me, he could get through a stall that he's even in. Okay, a lot of these people stall, like these people lose some weight and then stall because what happens is their BMR starts to match their calorie intake at like some weight where they're still 200 pounds overweight because the diet's so high in fat. Okay, and like I'm not gonna lie, like a ribeye steak is good when it's good, but like it gets old fast. Trust me. Eating just meat, it sounds so like they try to sell like it's so appetizing. Eating just meat only, first couple days it's okay, and then you're just like, bleh. You're just craving some watermelon or some potatoes or some rice or some fruit. It's insane. Your body talks to you. None of these guys are doing that dumb diet anymore. Like Rogan don't do that diet, even though he ran his mouth about it. Saladino doesn't eat like that. Nobody does. It's not even a diet. It's high cal, stall city, heart attack city, broke city, can't even afford it. When you can just eat potatoes and fruit and don't worry about your stupid protein and get some serious weight off and then add some protein back when you're lean. KW Close 7623 said, do you have any 60-year-old people? Have you had older clients? Yeah, like, man, lots. There's a woman that's in her 70s that I've been helping that basically got jacked. She used to do some bodybuilding like back in the 80s. As soon as I started talking about the low-fat dieting, it resonated with her because that's what they were pushing back in the 80s, a proper diet. Now she's lean and jacked as bicep. She's like 70-some years old. KJB 111. Baker needs to lean out. He looks heavy. Durian Ryder has the best physique. So Harley's lean. There's no doubt about that. Does he have the best physique? Depends what you want. But definitely Baker's soggy as hell. Okay, basketball players from the 70s too. Now their asses and thighs are too big. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's true. Okay, even the guys in the early 90s, like the Bulls team, everybody's like 200, 210 pounds. Reggie Miller, man, this guy's like 6'7", he's like 200 pounds. Okay, Harley, Durian Ryder, he loves his lifestyle. He's a slim guy. Do some people want a little more muscle than him? Yeah. But if he trained a bit different, probably with the same diet, he would look different if he just say he was doing more bodyweight calisthenics. He would have to probably eat a little more of the plant protein to make the difference up just for recovery versus just straight cardio. So, but he loves his lifestyle and he's slim and that's what he enjoys. He's I'll tell you this, is like his VO2 max heart rate and conditioning are way better than Sean Baker. It's not even comparable. Is Baker stronger of a brute? Yeah. But is Baker's lifestyle on the track of living as long as Harley? No. Anybody can get hit by a bus, but if you look at the people that live over 100 years old, I'm telling you, the one thing I've seen in common, the protein's low, and obviously they're all slim, so they're naturally just eating a calorie count that's low enough. Even that Richard Overton, he was eating like soups and still some ice cream and shit, but obviously he was a slim guy, lived to 112 years old, and his protein was low. C-word free. Even though he still had ice cream, He obviously wasn't overeating on the calories, even though he's entertaining some ice cream, which some people wouldn't be able to entertain that food choice without going over. But the protein was low. Everybody that's over 100 years old, you look at it, it's always like a low protein diet. And they're low calorie and low protein. So of the calories they're eating, the protein's also low. And they're also eating low calorie. It's all always the same. Go look for people. Like, why don't people look this shit up? Go look at more stories when people are like 100, 110 years old. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody's eating like John Baker. You're not going to live till 100 years old eating like that. You won't. You won't. You will not. Something will bite you. It'll be the C word or a heart attack. It'll bite you. But like I said, like you live with Harley, you're getting skinny. If you're living with Harley, you're going to get skinny eating like that. Like, you're going to copy that lifestyle, especially with the biking and the running and shit. But what I'm trying to teach, like, morbid obese people couldn't even go on a bike, right? I'm the guy that's taking the extreme fat asses and teaching them how to lose weight sitting on their ass because they can't even do anything right off the hop. So that's where we go lower on the cal. Because Harley's still, like Durian Rider, he's still eating like 3,000 calorie a day easy. Okay? Easy. And that's why he's adding the sugar to his shit, because he's so active, he's got to, or he'd like literally starved it. He'd basically starve to death if he wasn't adding the sugar to the food, because he's lean. Okay, but do my fatties need to do that? No, they just need to eat like a meal a day on the potatoes and some fruit. Get the calories way down there. So then one day they can even ride a bike or even walk, right? Like your weight matters so much if you're involved in any running or any, like a lot of these, just weight loss in general makes you so much more athletic without even training. Like, I just even Sean Dadbod Baker, if he was lighter, like he'd be way more capable. Okay, he's fluffy as hell. Okay, he's lucky he's so big, so he holds that fat pretty good. But he's soggy as hell. All right? Because he's like, what, 6'5", 6'6"? Big bone structure, long arms, like man. He holds the weight better than most people would hold the weight. People don't understand how soggy he is. He shouldn't be no 270. There's basketball players that have bigger bone structure than him that are like literally 60 pounds lighter than him. Let's see here. Like LeBron James is lighter than Baker at like, how tall is LeBron? Like 6'10"? And would you say he has muscle? And that's the other thing too. Like a lot of the ways they exercise, all the heavy hip hinges and shit. Like I'm done with all that shit. Heavy leg training's so overrated too. It never ever helped my athleticism. It just made me beat up chasing numbers to go power lift. Just beats the shit out of you. Absolute Maximum said Goggins abuses the body. Yeah, he does. He abuses the shit out of his body. But see, that's the thing. You got to be able to get out of that. You got to be able to not identify to something. People start to shoehorn you in and identify you as this, and then you get caught up in it, and your ego won't let go of it. So now Goggins has to play that character till the day he dies unless he lets go of it. Ray Rod said, how did your journey begin as a weight loss coach, Cole? Well, first off, I worked in the oil and gas industry my whole life. I was an instrumentation technologist. Sick of that, sick of the patch. Ended up moving to Edmonton. Got into fitness training, which I was doing on the side, just cash on my days off, and I used to work anyway. I've always been into fitness and shit. Competitive swimmer, competitive boxer when I was younger. Did all the high school sports. And then I ended up being a fitness trainer, and that led to weight loss because everybody that usually wants fitness training actually wants to lose weight. And then that led to me starting a YouTube channel and putting all the focus on weight loss. Long story short. All right, let's see. Yeah, nobody ever brings up the low protein, right? Like when you hear some of the vegans like low fat, high carb, they're not saying the protein should be said in the sentence. Low protein. Fat Ass Pig says, Cole is an incel now. How long has he been celibate? Okay, I help a lot of guys definitely with like corn addiction and shit like this. Even women too. Like man, it's actually, men, it's bad because when they, like, you know, when I first started practicing, like, you know, there's like no FAP and all this crap. But, you know, that was how I started coaching all that shit because it's one of the worst vices. Like the corn addiction is the worst. But men, they just drain themselves all the time. It completely destroys their hormones and testosterone levels combined with just a shitty lifestyle. But then I got women, man, that were addicted to corn. Oh, man, like some of them would basically masturbate like 10 times a day because women don't have the same reaction as men, right? Men, like, are just, you know, they'll bust a nut in it and zonk out. Women just do it all day. Like, it was so bad, so bad. Some of the women, it was crazy, some of the shit I used to deal with when women would get a hold of me to try to help them with getting rid of a corn addiction. So that was why I knew to help those types of people, I was going to have to quit that shit like myself, because I used to watch that shit for sure. Like, especially right out of high school when I went to university, that was probably one of the biggest one of the biggest things. Everyone was addicted to that shit. Especially why? I never had no high-speed internet growing up. Then boom, I go to university, we're on a high-speed network. Okay, everybody, you know, and so there was right there environmental change that was bad. All right, what else we got here? Jay Bean says 5'7", 260 pounds, need to lose 80 pounds minimum. Well, start. Object Therapy says, what is the best food to eat to stay full and low calories other than potatoes? Okay, like you're going to do really good on wet carbohydrates, high water content carbohydrates. Meal a day. Push the fast, okay? But it's not a deal breaker to be losing weight on something. There was a girl on a live, or no, she messaged me on Instagram. There's a girl that was messaging me, telling me, asking, there was some coaching stuff, and she was eating M&Ms, losing weight on M&Ms, okay? Because she could count them exact, and she was sticking to it. She was just losing weight, eating M&Ms and intermittent fasting. Cool. You can't say that, oh, that's not good. She's losing weight, she's fat. M&Ms, exact calorie count. Okay, are some people gonna not be able to do that? Yeah, but if it's strict on the calorie count, it's very easy to track. Okay, and especially when you get over your phobia of not needing the protein, you're good, because you're not restricting the carbs either to tank your thyroid. And you're in your Randall cycle bullshit. These carnivore MDs keep bringing up just a bunch of talking point bullshit. Okay, your body's not just, it's not like every cell in your body's using fat at one time or carbs at one time. Different cells are using a different fuel at any given moment. So that whole Randall cycle shit to scare you of not mixing fat and carbs is just a crock of shit. Go tell your buddies that. They've built their whole damn YouTube channel running their mouth about Randall cycle, trying to sell their carnivore diet on that shit. Bullshit. It's not that the Randall cycle itself is bullshit. It's the way they preach how, oh, you can't do this. You can't eat fat and carbs together. I used to say that like an idiot back in the day. Then I actually smartened up and did more research, and you realize it's a crock of shit. Plus, obviously, if you're losing weight eating M&Ms, and the calories are equated to your low-carb diet, and it's still getting the same result, guess it's not affecting shit, is it? Because all that matters is the damn calories. As far as the weight loss goes, it's the only thing that matters is the calories, being low enough to elicit a weight loss result. Okay, let's see here. Okay, my phone is going to die in 2 seconds. Okay, here's one. DCXE4ZZ. Cole, how do I get under 360 pounds? I'm currently plateaued doing 30 minutes of cardio, eating 2,000 calories, OMAD, keto. Well, you're eating too much. Maybe bring that 2,000 down to less than 1,000. And maybe stop eating stupid keto because it's impossible to bring the calories down. Cut the protein out. Start eating your potatoes and your fruit and vegetables till you get lean. Simple. Get the calories lower. And you know what's hard to get the calories low on? Your stupid keto diet. Because the fat's there and it's impossible. There's like no satiation on a 600 calorie day compared to potatoes or something. MC Speechless says, how can I recover from heavy lifting without protein? Lucy, how fat are you? Okay, get your priorities straight. If you're a fat pig, who cares about heavy lifting? Okay, who cares? Okay, if you're not fat, then what are you worried about? If you need to lose weight slower because you have like 5 pounds to lose, slow it down then. Okay, how fat are you? If you're a fat pig, okay, if a guy's like 300 plus pounds and he's trying to be like 170, who cares about heavy lifting? Stop and lose weight. Stop trying to have those two goals at the same time. Lose weight. Lose weight. Okay, make your environment focused around how do you keep the calories the lowest. That should be the only goal. Does this environment allow me to keep the calories low? Does a lot of weight training volume help you keep the calories low? No. So scrap it. Get the weight off. It's a weight loss channel. It's not a bodybuilding channel. Weight loss. Okay, if you want to get a hold of me for coaching, Cole Robinson on Facebook, Snake Diet Wizard on Instagram. I'm going to wrap this up. Until next time, if you want to make a donation or get help from me, okay, if you want to make a donation, even just private message me and I can give you my PayPal. Okay, if you want help, I take donations, weight loss help, Cole Robinson on Facebook, Snake Diet Wizard Instagram. Till next time, stop eating fatty.